Some they call it functional alcoholism, but if you know anything about Ben, he's got vision with precision, microphones and a tinkle of derision. You're about to hear what beer can be. It's time for Barley and Me.
Welcome to Barley and Me. I'm your host, Ben Rice. This is episode 182. We're here today in Elk Grove, California at Coatza Brewing. With me today, our special guest,
Daniel Savala with CervezaLandia.
And from Coatza Brewing,
Enrique Silva.
And thank you guys so much for coming out here and doing this. This is not just an episode of Barley and Me where we just talk about whatever comes up. We also have a pointed reason to be here. Who wants to talk about it?
I'll go. I'll say it. CervezaLandia is what we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This big event we have is going to be the largest gathering of Mexicano and Chicano brewers anywhere in the country that I know of. It'll be right here in downtown Sacramento. We've got 8 brewers or breweries showing up that Sunday, and it's going to be a blast.
And that is June the 9th. From 2 to 6 at Cesar Chavez Park. If you don't know where that is, concerts in the park, J Street, K Street, like what, 8th and 9th, kind of?
Yep,
Yeah,
right there.
9th and 10th.
Yeah, 9th and 10th. I'm so close. I didn't write down everything. But so that's what we're really here to talk about. But also, if you're going to go to the event, you should know something about the people who are putting it on.
Yes.
So let's start with you, Enrique. How's business here at Coatza?
It's doing pretty good right now. The difference between my brewery and other breweries, I believe, is I turned this into a music venue. So we don't only just focus on the beer. My brewer, Zambo, which is an award-winning brewer, does amazing beers here. So he's got that portion handled. So I handle a lot of the music and a lot of the entertaining stuff, where we go for Brew Fest. This event that we're doing with Daniel, CervezaLandia, is going to be a huge event for us. So, it's just one of those fun things to do, to be involved with.
Yeah, and I had a chance to walk through, obviously, when I got here. I couldn't help but to notice you guys have some, like, arcade stuff going on.
We do. So we don't have that many right now,
Right.
but we're working on getting some more back there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the goal on that?
You know what? This is a family establishment.
Okay.
And the idea is, you bring your whole family here.
Yeah.
Your kids can be hanging out in the back.
And they can't just be drinking beers.
They got it.
That's on.
They gotta
that's
do
on,
more
that's
than
on their
that.
parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things to do here, for sure. And being right here on Elk Grove Boulevard, it brings me a lot of the walking traffic of the locals.
Yeah.
So when
Who are
they're
out with their
walking here
family on a
families,
Saturday like
exactly.
today.
Yeah, they're cruising through here. Makes it a fun stop for anyone with kids.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that seems to be missing from breweries, because I think it's pretty obvious at this point that breweries are family establishments.
They are.
But there's nothing for kids to do. So I do like that you fill that gap.
Well, I have kids, and my thing is, all right, we're going to go to breweries where they're not going to be bored.
Yeah.
And I always thought of that when I started this project. That's where the arcade idea came from.
Yeah, I have a show tonight at Fort Rock, and one of my friends hit me up like, hey, can I bring my daughter? She just turned 18. And I'm like, yeah, it's a brewery. You could totally bring your daughter. But there's nothing really, besides the comedy, like there's nothing for her in the space besides a glass of water. But at the same time, I've done that show in the middle of an 8-year-old's birthday party. And I'm like, is this what an 8-year-old's looking for? To be in a big concrete shelter with nothing to do and nothing to eat and nothing to drink? Who chose this?
Yeah, it's too bad that...
The place to bring their kid on a Friday night for their birthday.
Yeah, but before there was the arcade there at, I forget, Monster Golf.
Yeah, Monster Golf, yeah.
Right? And perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Too bad they're gone.
But they're not putting them there. Even back then, they weren't putting them there. They were bringing them to the brewery. I'm like, this is the party. Like, this is the party. I'm like, I don't think this is what your kid was looking for.
Yeah, thankfully, CervezaLandia, the event, too, we're really trying to make that family-friendly. Yeah. Family-friendly and dog-friendly. We want to keep it really about Sacramento. We want families to be able to bring their kids, so we will have things. We have face painting. We have a local artist nonprofit that's going to do some project with kids. I've got I'm training them young, so I've got this little setup where they do in the juice boxes dip with chamoy.
Okay.
So
Nice.
It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, keeping it fun for everybody.
So besides beer, besides food, besides face painting, besides juice boxes for those who don't partake, what else is going on at CervezaLandia?
So we have some live DJs, and truthfully, we wanted this event to be about the beer because this is the first time that I know in any other place in the country where you're having a collection of Mexican and Chicano brewers in one space. And almost every single beer that they're bringing speaks to culture and their influence. And so, as we were having the carrito earlier, every beer you're going to try, there's this story behind it. And I want to stay true to that. So, yes, the vibe's going to be great, the music's going to be good, but we're not promoting a big band that's playing. We have a small little craft market, but it's going to be about the beer. We're talking about the 8 or 9 breweries that are going to be there and hoping that people just enjoy the good beer first and foremost.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what breweries will be there?
So we have Coatza Brewing that's going to be there, which Coatza is the only Chicano, Mexicano-owned brewery anywhere in the county, maybe.
I think Northern California. I'm still looking to see. There are Hispanic-owned, but not Mexican-owned. From what I know.
And even if they're Hispanic or Mexican-owned, but maybe one or two that aren't specifically or intentionally making beer that speaks to culture, using ingredients, using names, leaning on our culture or our personal experiences to share that through beer. And that's kind of what CervezaLandia is really getting at. That's why having a space like Coatza is so important to not just Elk Grove, but our region in general. And for our ethos as a brand, CervezaLandia, is we look at, through my travels and going to breweries, I was in a brewery in Querétaro, Mexico some years ago, and I'll never forget the feeling I had sitting in a space and I saw brewers who looked like me, who spoke Spanish and who were using piloncillo and clove and blood orange in their beer, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. Where can I find this? And I looked out throughout Sacramento and I couldn't find anything, and to finally have a brewery here in my neighborhood in Sacramento, in Elk Grove, dude, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So that's one of the things that CervezaLandia really hopes to knock out of the park is take this whole new generation of beer drinkers or beer enthusiasts and introduce them to maybe the same style of beers that they love, but with different flavors. We have a guy from Salinas who makes a Vampiro Sour, a Tamarindo Pilsner, and who doesn't want to try a Tamarindo Pilsner, right?
I'm on board already.
Right, yeah, we have James Beard Award nominated brewer David Favela from Border X in San Diego has the Pepino Sour. We all know as Mexicans, pepinos and chili and lemon is like a childhood snack. We all had that. So there's a beer, a Pilsner, that's brewed in that style that speaks to culture, things that we grew up on.
It's
so that's
delicious.
Exciting. Yeah. So that, who else? King Kong Brewery. Kong Brewery is going to bring La Chingona out, which is brewed by John Anaya, a Chicano brewer, and also Isaac Rocha from Mexico City. So you have a real Chilango who came to Sacramento, brewed this amazing beer, and we're lucky to have it year-round here in Sac.
Yes. Oh, and if you haven't listened to the King Kong episode with John on there, you should. And if you listen to the new Barley Me theme song, no big deal. It made its debut on that episode with our guest Dean Hawkinson, who wrote it before we started recording.
That's awesome.
So, it's a pretty exciting thing.
It is.
And like you said, there's nothing like it in the area, maybe not even.
I've looked the country. I haven't found any single. So CervezaLandia as a store and as an event, there isn't another store or one location where you can go and find beers brewed by Mexican brewers or Chicano brewers from Mexico and California in one place. I mean, we're talking Tijuana, Mexico, Guadalajara, Colima, Mexico City, San Diego, Los Angeles, Pico Rivera. We've got Gilroy, Watsonville, Salinas, Elk Grove. You won't find any other selection of beers that brewed by Chicano. There's a huge wave happening of Chicano brewers in California. I think it really started in Southern California with the group SoCal Cerveceros. Mm-hmm. This is a group of home brewers who, you're familiar with them, yeah. And a lot of them, the guys over at Brujeria, some of the stuff they're doing is just killing it. And so that's what excites me about like where beer could potentially go for our consumers. So it's exciting.
And I think you could see the path kind of, because craft beer, there's been a slow growth for 30 years. Then there's a boom. There's a little bit of withdrawal. Then it's kind of slowly expanding, but it's still very low. It's become very localized as far as that goes. So I think the boom of Chicano brewers is going to be close to the border, then slowly drift up, right? It's just how it kind of works. Like, because people start moving north.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's a market, there's a demand, and we just keep going, and we move east, and we move.
Yeah.
We can't really move very far west in the U.S.
Yeah.
from
You're
California,
already
but yeah, it's just kind of how things work. Is they find their central point, and they just expand out from there as they prove more and more that there is a market and demand for that. And I think that the way that America is as a melting pot of culture, and as beer grows, it becomes more normal to not just drink a Budweiser at home. And you start to see that these things are possible. You start seeing that, and it's going to have. You're going to have epicenters in Florida. You're going to have epicenters in New York and things. And it'll kind of expand out. So it's pretty cool that you're building an event that might become something that people come from farther away to attend, potentially.
We hope so. Imagine that. We were talking earlier about growing up as Mexican Americans, and I think our fathers and uncles all drank Budweiser, Corona, Dos Equis.
Yeah.
No shade at those, good. They're beers, right?
Right. You don't know any better.
Can you imagine what's going to happen when you get a new generation of Mexicano consumers who actually have a palate, who appreciate quality beer, and what it's going to do to the beer scene in general?
That's actually part of the fun that I've had here. I could probably count 10 people that I know that are Coors or Bud Light drinkers their entire life and nothing else. But because they're here supporting me, what's the lightest beer you got?
Yeah.
So, purposely, I told Zambo, look, when I'm not drinking craft beer at home, I'm digging into my 30-pack of Coors Banquet.
Right.
That's my passion.
I mean, currently you shouldn't because they are on strike. But otherwise, I completely agree with you.
Well,
in general
he made
terms.
me my own banquete.
Nice.
Yeah, so my light lager is named banquete, which is banquet
Nice.
in Spanish.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I was like, "What do I want to grab? What do I want to grab?"
And with that beer right there, I'm changing the palate of people that are used to something else. And what's funny is I hear it all the time. Now they go back to a Coors Light after being here a lot.
It's not the same.
There's no flavor anymore. There's
never go
nothing
back.
there.
Yeah, it's very funny. Coors Banquet and me, love. I love a Coors Banquet. Great. Coors Light and me, we are mortal enemies.
Nope.
I will
hate
literally
that.
throw up. I will.
hate
That's
it.
more tied to like past events where I did throw up after drinking Coors Light, but it wasn't Coors Light's fault. It was that I drank all the good beer, and now all we have is Coors Light. And if you're at that point, you've had a lot of beer. But
And at that point, it doesn't matter.
But in my brain,
Oh, yeah.
it's Coors Light's fault, and if I smell it, I'm gonna puke.
It's exciting time. I think that's you're right, Rick. It's what I'm most excited about is those one-on-one conversations you have with people. My nephew was just bartending for me, or beer tending for me at an event we sponsored for McGeorge Law School graduates, and he's 22 years old, right? He's never really had beer, but he was just drinking the beers, and he's like, dude, this is amazing. I'll never drink, a Modelo again. And what we're doing, and even for the event, the way we're marketing and promoting it, you're gonna see folks who've never been to a brew festival, never even have a reason to go to a beer festival. They're gonna be there. Their minds are gonna be blown away, and we're just gonna see what happens next. And more customers here at Coatza, more customers at all the other participating breweries that we come to, because how neat is it, man, to see beers that are done. I got to talk about the Vampiro beer.
I mean, look,
Salinas.
I feel like you have to. That's a good point.
Yeah, have you ever had a Vampiro cocktail?
No.
It's a I think it was a Jalisco. Where's it from? Where's tequila from? Jalisco, right?
Yeah.
So in Jalisco, Mexico, there's this little red juice called sangrita that they add to a paloma. It's called they usually serve it in a bag, and it's an anonymous cocktail called a Vampiro from Jalisco. This brewer in Salinas created a sour beer out of it, and it's delicious. He created a pilsner with tamarindo, and
I mean, that sounds great.
but it's like that.
I don't need a sales pitch on that. I'm on board.
Well, that's
Enrique,
that's
you've
on deck.
You've got all the stuff you're creating here. The stout that you tried to do that you did last year.
Yeah, so we have a local coffee bean roaster, and we did a cold brew with this coffee and then put it in our Imperial Stout.
Which roaster was it?
Eco Delight.
Nice.
Yeah, he was right on Dino Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Guillermo. So he's not a dark beer drinker,
Right.
and he drank that, and I think because it's his coffee in there that he started drinking
Yeah.
it. He's like, oh,
Okay.
yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
He's a coffee guy, so that kind of changed his. There's another example.
Yeah.
of somebody that only drinks the lightest of the lightest.
Yeah.
But now because he's involved in craft beer with their
Yeah.
their coffee,
Suddenly,
now he's
a light
veering
bulb.
onto different types of beer. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one thing about beer that like a lot of other alcohols don't have is that there's a variety of flavors, and you can keep adding stuff.
Correct.
Like if you're like, I think this might work together, you just do it.
We're just scratching the
Like you throw
surface.
Tamarindo into a pilsner, that's like easy. That's just printing money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We think about all the drinks we love, horchata, jamaica,
Yeah, and you could throw that into a stout. You get a milk stout going.
Yeah.
Come on.
mazapan, pan dulce.
Nitro it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Better.
yeah. I mean, the thing about beer is it takes on whatever you want to throw into
Yeah.
it.
I
And
want a
you'll find some.
puerquito stout.
What's porquito?
You
I
know
know what it
Mexican
means, but
pigs, you know, little Mexican sweetbread, the pigs. That's my favorite
yeah.
Right?
Pan dulce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it. That's like cinnamon and cloves.
It's the Mexican
Yes.
bread that's the shape of a
it's
little
the shape
pig.
of a
Yeah.
Porquito
Yeah,
stout.
'cause that's kind of cinnamony.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cinnamony. So
yeah.
you could again, your mind's gonna go to stout, but you could also do, since you mentioned the clove, there's like you can do a Belgian
Yeah.
in there with that. So there's like the thing about beer. Again, you can just throw these flavors in because it's based. There's so many different bases.
Yeah.
And that's
With
a
a-
fun thing. That's a fun thing.
Other
about
alcohols
beer
only have the
flavors.
one flavor they're bouncing off of, but beer's like, what do you want to do?
You know what? I think we have the home brewing community to thank
Yeah.
for
Oh,
this
yeah.
because
Yeah.
They got nothing better
they're
to
leading
do.
the wave
Yeah.
right now on what all the breweries are doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because it's easier to make 5 gallons and be like, well, that wasn't worth it.
100%.
But you're like, I'm going to make 300 gallons of this
Yeah.
and I hope it fucking works. It's
So
a very
Zambo's
different
got it
life.
dialed in. We've got a 10-barrel system here. Today he brewed another batch of banquete, but we have a single barrel fermenter. We have 2 of them, jacketed. They're all plumbed in. And what he does, he did a Belgian blonde, a small batch, right? And what he does is like when he wants to test something, he'll small batch it off of a large batch
Yeah.
that he's already going to
Just
do.
throw it in there and see what
Yeah.
happens. Yep. Yeah, I think that homebrew mindset of that small batch on the side has really helped craft beer move forward. The like, the like experimental beers. They're like, we took the beer we know you like, and we set aside 5 gallons, and we threw this stuff into it, and we're just going to see what it becomes. I think,
Absolutely.
or like we threw it into 1 keg. We'll see what happens.
Right.
You know, we put it in
Yeah.
a barrel.
We hope
Who
to
knows?
kind of have that conversation with one of the home brewers we have with Por Vida that's going to be there doing a brew day demo at
Oh,
CervezaLandia.
nice.
Just continue to educate and have this conversation about beer and what the possibilities are, and then backdrop that with a great brewery like Coatza, which is going to have a great environment, what do you guys got? What are you bringing? You're going to bring everything, right? You're going to bring some good beers for people to drink?
No, I think
We're going to bring bad beers.
I'm only just the 2. I think
Yeah.
we're going to do obviously Carrito, and the name Carrito, the Mexican fruit cart you see on all the corners. Mm-hmm. That's a Carrito.
Yeah.
And the reason I named it Carrito is because we change the fruit in it every batch.
Nice.
So the first one was mango watermelon, second one was pineapple guava, and everybody wanted mango watermelon back, so we brought that one back again.
I want it.
So we'll play with other fruits with that Carrito. So I'm taking that, and then our Imperial Hazy, our tropical storm.
Yeah, the tropical store. Yeah.
It's a hit. It's a huge hit.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned this. What is the cost to get into CervezaLandia?
It's $20 to get in.
$20.
That $20 comes with your first beer, though. So
Comes with
again,
the first
we
beer.
want to make
So
it
it's $12.
family-friendly. Yeah, family friendly, but we also want you to have a good time and have your money stretch, and also working with our food vendors. We're not charging them a fee. We want them to
nice.
make their food affordable for families there, and we want them to really have a good experience.
All right. And then where can people buy these tickets?
Eventbrite. They're
Ah,
online.
yes.
You can go to our Instagram page and find the link in our bio. You can even Google CervezaLandia and it'll come up. We have our website that's out now, CervezaLandia.co. That's live, and so you can find it that way.
Assuming you know what CervezaLandia means.
I have no idea. I couldn't possibly put it together. with
Somebody's
any
going to
kind
be
of
listening and be like,
context.
well, what does that mean?
That's true. We should answer for the
Beerland.
Beerland, yes.
In a plane at Beerland, but the Landia, right?
Right.
Like
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneylandia. Like
Yeah.
there's like
It's a
the
magical.
exciting part of it. It's magical. It's something. There's colors, there's rides, there's themes. So
Yeah.
Cerveza world, Beerland, but like I've always had this crazy thought of like, who are the characters who show up at CervezaLandia? Your drunk uncle, right? He shows up.
They're now called drunkles.
All the characters from Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah, all the characters from all those movies. I really wanted Bob from the brother Bob from La Bamba. I wanted him to show up in his leather jacket, causing trouble towards the end. But
on his chopper.
Yeah, they told me no.
It's your show.
Yeah.
You can just go up on that stage.
He told himself no.
End of the end.
That's
okay. Restraint, self-restraint. What are the?
But it's an iconic scene. Everyone knows it, and so you know what scene I'm talking about from the Bombo when Bob walks in.
Yep.
You imagine that's when it's over. So we could do that
at the end.
10 minutes before it.
That's
how we answer it
on the stage. You just come up. Problem solved.
Yeah.
It's what you want it to be. You have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
But that's it. Like I said, when we thought about it, it's make it about the beer, make the walk-away experience. So this is my first brew fest I've ever been to, and it was with some really neat beers a really neat beer experience, and ultimately the ethos of what we're trying to do, and I think what I started with CervezaLandia was the simple fact is how do I help brewers sell their beer, understanding the financial point of I've always worked with retailers. That's where you want to be. You make the beer, you want to sell the beer, and having direct access to the marketplace has helped me help brewers. And so this is just another part of that is, hey, you guys want to enter the Sacramento or Northern California market retail? What better way than to come here and just punch Sacramento in the mouth with a whole bunch of really great Mexican and Chicano brewed beer, and people are going to start looking for it. I expect that after Sunday, the next Mexican restaurant or your favorite bar you go to, you're asking, hey, you got the Coatza Carrito on tap? If you don't, why not? And now they're calling Enrique, hey. That's how it starts. We have to build up our own demand sometimes for our product. And so that's what we're really trying to do.
And it's like making people aware that it even exists.
It exists. Yeah, you can't compete. You can't just brew a great batch of beer and put it on the shelf and expect people to walk by and say, I'm going to just grab it.
It's all about that buzz that needs to be created first.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing.
Nice. Now, CervezaLandia, not only is it a beer event happening on Sunday, June 9th, from 2 to 6 at Cesar Chavez Park, not only that, but it is a actual physical space.
It's an actual physical store. You can go in and you can buy beer today, tonight. I tell people
tomorrow.
It's Memorial Day weekend. You're gonna go on the
It's actually not. It just was.
So, was it?
I have to edit, so it'll be out after that.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. You know what? Right? Actually, if I play my cards right, it will come out Monday.
It's the weekend, right?
It's Memorial Day today, or was last Monday. One of those two things will be correct.
What could happen is any given weekend, someone's going to a barbecue, they're going to an event. You're going to stop and get beer. I'm asking you, bring some craft cerveza. Bring something different. Impress the homies, Bring something that's never heard of. So.
Bring something from the real home.
Bring something good. Come to CervezaLandia. We have everything. We really strive to have everything. All your old, we carry every Modelo that's on the market right now, the stuff that's just coming out. The Carta Blancas, the Bohemias, those beers that you can find everything you need at CervezaLandia.
Even the Spike Jarritos.
Even the Spike Jarritos, you can find those. And then we also have American-style craft beers. We have really good relationships with brewers and some of our distributors, just getting us the good stuff. And so CervezaLandia is a place where you can buy really good beer. If you want to hyper-focus on some Chicano and Mexicano brewed beer, we have the largest selection anywhere else in the country. I can't think of another store or any other place where you can go in and buy beer from Mexico City and buy beer from San Diego and buy bear from Sacramento. All on the same roof.
Right outside of Land Park, the literal park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On Sutterville Road. Inside of a shift change.
The Big Dinosaur.
Sinclair gas station. Over by the Rayleighs. I'm so mad that I live there. I take that route maybe every other week at minimum, and I only saw the sign 3 months ago?
Really?
Yeah. I was driving by, what the fuck is that? And why have I not seen it? Is it new? What is going on? So I got home and I'm like, I'm going to Google it. What the hell is this thing that I just saw?
That's awesome.
And now here we are, 2-3 months later,
that
doing a podcast.
Plan. People drive by and be like, CervezaLandia, I know what that means.
I'm I know the words.
Right? I know CervezaLandia.
But what is it? I'm is it a bar?
Disneyland
what is going on? I'm I need to know more. Yeah. And then I had a chance to actually get in, because the first day I saw it, my whole house was sick, and I was like on a run to go get food. And I was the only not sick person because you guys know this. Kids, they're just breeding grounds for disease.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I if it wasn't what I was doing right now, I would be in there right now being like, what is going on?
Now, ideally, the plan is for you to open up a tap room, right?
Tap room, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because that will be the fun land.
That's, yeah. I was honestly a little disappointed. It was just buying cans.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish, because like Whole Foods in Folsom has like a little tap room house out of it. You know? Like maybe there's something inside there. I go in there and there's like a little like 4-seat tasting room.
Yeah.
Like I know and you know also, Dan, that the regulations aren't really going to allow for that. Without a lot of work.
They just came out with a Type 86 that allows you to taste.
It's a lot of work.
So I'm going to reach in, probably researching that, but that sparked my, an 86. Why would you call it an 86, though? We all know 86.
Because we got to 80, 60 people out of here because we're still a business.
I think someone did that as a joke. It's the 86
like,
license.
It's kind of weird that we have a tap room inside of a gas station where people are filling up their cars. Get out of here.
Yeah.
86.
But the tap room would be also another innovative model where you're talking tap room, you're talking about a co-located small bottle shop, shipping, everything that we want to do. We really want to grow CervezaLandia as a space where people can come and enjoy these great beers on tap because they're always best fresh on tap. But also we can start shipping throughout California and also scaling up CervezaLandia in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Get a nice place going, similar to Pangea.
Yeah.
Great food, great beer,
small spot,
and amazing bottle shop.
I do have a trademark on the word CervezaLandia, so no one can use that word anymore. Except for me. So
yeah, nice.
We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great opportunity on it, just because again, like you said, even after discussing now, like there is growth in that realm as well that allows you to bring in more stuff, and so there's always going to be something you can bring in that wasn't there before. Of the places that would have a sit-down tap room, I think it makes sense.
Yeah. This conversation we can just have easily pulling up, talking about. We haven't even got into the culture element of the beer and the labels that you're seeing and what's inspiring some people to drive from Stockton or Modesto to buy a beer. They don't care what the beer is. There's a label that speaks to them, that speaks to their culture or their life experience or a cause that they're passionate about, and they get it. It's super powerful. So
I judge a beer by its cover, 100%.
Right?
Oh no!
Because if you put an amazing amount of artwork in something, you definitely put it into your beer as well.
But what if you didn't? What if you just had really great artwork and just dog shit beer?
You just turn it into michelada.
But it's happening. And
it does happen. Unfortunately,
it's
I've had so many
happening.
beautiful cans that are just. I'm like, I didn't enjoy that beer at all. And they're like, you put your money into this and not into the beer. You could.
It's a
do
whole
both,
other.
or put the money into the product first.
Yeah.
But it's a whole other area we talk about or try, like this idea of stunt food and stunt beer. You just made a cool label because it's Cinco de Mayo and you want, there's a time and place for that. But I think we really want to focus in on respecting the culture, having love for us as consumers. I love a good Cinco de Mayo beer or a cerveza especial that a brewery builds. There's a couple brewers here in Sacramento. They make some amazing Mexican lagers. They're not Mexican brewers. They just love the culture. And that's a beautiful way to celebrate culture in general. But there are those stuff beers out there that are going to come and they're going to put a concha on the beer. They're going to want to sell it. And it'll sell, right? But
which is, your hat just reminded me, Alchemy, the canning company. I talked, Jose, right?
Yeah, Jose and his wife Daisy. Yeah,
super nice people. They came out here, hung out. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for us to start canning. We haven't got to that point yet.
Okay.
You know,
you got to
start
build
making
your base.
some labels and stuff. Yeah.
Because why start
6 months old.
putting it out into the market when people don't know you exist yet,
Correct.
and there's already so many people that have laid
We
claim
need
to
that
that.
foot traffic first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
I think
we'll get there.
We hope CervezaLandia is a big part of that too. We have a beer, women brewers from Pico Rivera called SoCal Cerveceras.
Yes, I was like, I know there's one down there, and I couldn't remember the name. Yeah,
They brewed a raspberry blonde called Las Homegirls, and the label on the beer can, if you just saw it, spoke to like this Chicana vibe. And as soon as I posted, every female follower, I need that, and it sold out. 5 cases in just a matter of days.
Yeah.
But that's just how powerful labels are.
Yeah.
That not just say this is this type of beer, but this beer was brewed with cultura in mind.
Yeah, if you can get label, product, and story
Yeah.
into that, like you don't even have to like market.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll just make a post and it'll sell itself.
Yeah. That's so true.
I say that as a person who's been doing this podcast for 8 years and has like maybe 70 listeners. I don't know what I'm talking about for any kind of marketing. I'm like, I'm proud of what I'm doing, and that's what I'll just stick with.
Just keep doing it. You just gotta keep doing it. People are listening.
Yeah.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
It's important that we have this conversation. It's the first. We don't get too many opportunities to just have this conversation and hopefully share it with the broader audience, right? We've sat around these bars a few at nights at the end of the night, so we have these conversations about why a label is important, why having a beer that speaks to culture that's important. Even amongst Latinos or Mexicanos, where you can't just put us all in one box and say, "Oh, I put a sombrero on and it's going to work." No, I mean, I'm a Chicano from the neighborhood in South Sacramento.
We need the deep dive. We need to know that
Yeah.
you know, not that you have a general idea of.
And so you can't put a piñata and a sombrero on a can and be like, check. But yeah, that's what we look forward to being able to have an opportunity. The event coming up on June 9th. I think after that, the things are going to change in Sacramento. A lot of people, we get a lot of media attention. We got a lot of general curiosity from folks messaging us. Visit Sacramento has been tremendous. Sacramento 65 is super happy. City of Sacramento has been super great to work with. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the owner Ernesto Delgado of the La Cosecha and Cesar Chavez Plaza. We just had just an overwhelming amount of support from everybody. So we're sure this will be a successful event, and a lot of questions to like, how do we make it bigger? What do we do next?
I mean, look, Cesar Chavez Plaza, it's a great spot for your first one. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's a 1 square block.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Right.
But like, now you got to worry about next year. As word gets out.
We got plenty of parks.
And yeah, we got plenty of parks. We got plenty of walkways, all that stuff.
Need the first one under the belt to know what needs to be tweaked.
Yep. And can people buy tickets at the door? Or the door, quote unquote? Obviously.
We will, yeah. We're not going to turn anybody. So long as we're not at capacity, like, we're not turning anyone away. We're going to try to do as much as we can on Eventbrite because it's easier to communicate with attendees. But we're not going to turn anybody away that day of unless we're at capacity.
Right. And then, of course, you've got people counting one in, one out, one in, one out, one in, one out. So, for people, this is the first one. I imagine that it's going to be bigger than you think it's going to be.
Yes.
So, for listeners who are going or we're thinking of going, don't dilly-dally, but also enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Spend your time, check out all the booths, do all the things you want to do. But also, people are waiting. Can you get out so people can come back in and check out what's going on? We only have 4 hours.
You only got 4 hours. I'm trying to add that one more hour to it. So people are asking these questions.
The VIP session.
Get there early, get your beer. We're trying to make things as smooth as possible so you're not waiting 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get in, getting the beer.
Yeah.
We want you to get your beer as soon as you can. Sit on that chair, enjoy the breeze, enjoy the music, and be like you're in your backyard with your compas having a beer. Get that vibe going because we never want to get up, right? Once we're there and we're having a good time, you don't want to get up. And so you don't want to get there at 5 o'clock and I only got 45 minutes left to enjoy this experience.
Yeah.
So get there early, bring a lawn chair, bring a blanket if you want to, and it's just going to be a really cool, chill vibe.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I think it's going to be bigger than you think it is. Like, I saw that.
We hope so.
I mean, I'm a different person than most people. I'm like, I saw that, I'm like, that's going to be incredible. That's going to be very fun. And knowing it's also constantly the park season, so people are already primed to go there. Yeah. So I think that's like a very helpful part of it as well. But I hope that next year, or whenever you do it again, if you're doing it seasonally, I don't care. But next time you do it, I hope you need a bigger space. That's what.
I hope so. Well, with good partners and good friends like Enrique, who are helping and want to see it successful, like we couldn't do this event without the support of the brewers, because they're the ones who are really going to step up and bring great product, bring their staff, bring a good atmosphere. All I think I can do is provide the space, but they're going to provide the great beer. They're going to bring their brewery to the park that day, and they're just going to hit it out the park. And without
Coatza's closed that day, by the way, just for this event, because I'm taking my entire staff out there. Yep, so everyone can go and hang out.
Yeah.
Yep. And this event is a
you know what
success
you do.
without stuff
This
like
is just an idea for me. I'm a I'm an idea guy. What you should do is put on your door, we're closed, we're at CervezaLandia, mention you stop by, get 10% off tickets.
Yeah.
Boom. Here's your promo code,
Yeah.
10% off tickets, come by. And then they still come drink your beer. And they get like a little discount, like a little, I'm a guy in the know, I'm a gal in the know. We all, let's go in here.
If they saw if they got the code, they're from the neighborhood, they came here and there's like...
They're supporters.
Yep.
Some would say ride or die.
I like it.
Or just, I stumbled upon. Either way.
Yeah,
but give them a little...
We're already getting a lot of questions just by having that one
just one flyer
up there. Yeah.
It's all you need.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest part of all of this, is like how little it actually takes to get interest. One flyer, buy your beer cooler, where people sit down to drink their beer. Just, what is that? I see your label, CervezaLandia. I mean, I know that means Beerland, and I'm the gringoest gringo. And I see all these other breweries, and I was like, what is it? I'm already intrigued, right? Absolutely. It doesn't even take much. Enrique, you mentioned you're kind of the music guy here. What kind of music are you bringing to Coatza?
Everything. I am not pigeonholed to just the Latino music. I do everything from honky-tonk country, 90s to 2000 alternative rock, classic rock, Latin music, of course, everything. Jazz, shoot, you name it. I'm bringing everything. But I am very anal with the bands that play here.
Okay.
So I do spend a lot of money that I don't get back lots of times on making sure that quality bands play here.
Right.
Yeah.
No crap on tap, no crap on the mic.
That's exactly right.
There we go. So when it comes to music, what are the nights? Do you have like a specific night of the
Every
week?
Friday and Saturday we have live music.
All right. Starting at what time?
Anywhere from 6 to 10.
Okay.
Sometimes we go later.
Oh, usually starts at 6?
Correct.
All right. See, I just want to make sure people know.
And we got 6 house speakers in the ceiling hooked up to my jukebox, so we always have music going on for sure.
And then where are they performing at? Where's the band?
That's the stage area right
Okay,
there.
I missed that walking
Yep.
in. That's my own fault.
Yep.
There's even a sound dampening thing to indicate, hey, there's going to be the sound bouncing off of this.
Yeah.
I'm not observant. It's one thing I definitely have a strike on. I'm like, you can talk to me.
That's
I'll
all
be
right.
Data collected.
I got all my own
Walk around.
EV
Not
sound
observant.
system, subs, monitors, lasers, lights, everything.
Fog
back
machine?
there. Fog machine. We got
Hell
all.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Turntables, all of it.
Nice. And are you running sound? Who's running sound?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I actually get really decent deals by a lot of these high-profile bands that are local to Sacramento, because they don't have to lug any speakers. I got it all for them here.
Just bring your equipment. I'll plug it in.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like you want to have your stuff you prefer, bring that, but obviously I've got everything that I need.
I wish my place was bigger, really, because
it's pretty small.
All 3 of these tables we move outside sometimes, and the whole place is pretty packed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, music. I don't know anything about brewing beer, but I don't need to play the guitar to know that you suck as a musician. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know beer.
Yeah.
I know good beer. I know bad beer, but Zambo's got that part covered.
Yeah.
So we make an amazing team, and with our entertainment here, amazing beer. We got food here all the time.
Yep.
All the hours we're open, we got food here.
Yep. And then speaking of the hours that you're open, what are the hours that you're open?
So we're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Reasonable.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, Sundays, 10 a.m. Well, actually, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, your mark is going to go to sleep Sunday night. Because Monday, you're closed because people are like, we don't have it.
Good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good weekend.
Yeah. Oh, man. So it's, what would you say for you, since you're running sound and you're booking and stuff, the biggest band name-wise, biggest band, sheer volume of stuff you had to do wise?
That we've had here so far, that's a little tough.
Because names,
There's a few of them, actually. Yeah. You got the Latin Party Crew. It's they got horns. It's seven members. Congas, everything. You've got Son Cafe, which all of these musicians, they just formed this band like 8 months ago, but they've been in the industry for decades.
They're amazing.
I mean, the drummer's played with Santana. You know, he's played with the top names, and he put this together. From what I hear, he's also the founder of the Deftones. So yeah, so that band right there, even though they're only 8 months old, they are.
They're history
absolutely.
pre-band. Yeah.
Helios is probably one of the top Spanish rock cover bands in Sacramento Bay Area. They play here. How can I forget Carlos Candia? He just won a Sammy Award 5 years after being in this country.
Nice.
He's Colombian, and the dude brings the party. He's a one-man show. He's got backup music with his congas, and he sings, covers a lot of these songs, writes his own songs. The dude is
Fantastic, amazing.
awesome. So much so that my wife and I's 20-year anniversary is in September this year. He's performing for our anniversary. Yeah.
It's always standing room only every time he's here too.
When he comes, I'll show you some videos later of the times when he brings it, which he'll be here on the 31st
Of June?
of June. No,
May. Boom.
No, he's coming up. Yeah,
So
May
that's
31st.
this Friday.
Yes.
Or last Friday, but I'm hoping this Friday.
Yeah, and then
Come on, life, don't let me down.
one other band that I got to tell you, they've become really good friends of mine, is Inverness 95.
Okay.
90s, 2000 alternative rock covers. And it's three brothers, James the singer, Danny the drummer, Luke the lead guitarist, which out of control, and Brian the bassist. Those four put on an epic show, and the music that they cover, it's like you're listening to the radio. It's not just slapped together. They are awesome. They're also playing for my anniversary as well.
Nice. Now, is that anniversary here?
No.
No. Private event.
It's a private
friends
event.
and family only.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my wife and I stopped celebrating our anniversaries when my son was born. We were married 04 Labor Day Sunday. My son was born 07 Labor Day Sunday. So it was all about the babies after that.
But now you get to come back out.
Well, on our 10-year anniversary, we said, fuck the kids. It's about us.
Yeah.
So I rented a ranch in Wilton, tents, flew in a country band from Oregon, barbecue. So every 10 years, basically.
Yeah. You know what I love is that people that are just out and about in music or whatever things you're doing, the connections, you can just be like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Would you want to come by and do it? Just for, because we know each other and it'd be a fun thing. Like, my friend got married in Auburn, and he's like, he's a musician, and he's like doing all this other stuff. And so his wedding, he's like, my friend has this big ranch. I asked if I could use his ranch for a day. Like, and he's got his campers on there. And I know these musicians. I know these people that, do fire dancing and like all this stuff. And he's just like, hey, I have friends that do shit. What if we just all had a fucking big party and people showed up?
That's
do it.
Always on my brain.
Yeah.
Always. So much so that I created the Elk Grove Music Festival, May 18th.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
That was my event. I partnered up with my buddy Jesse, and him and I pretty much put everything together, and then partnered up with the city of Elk Grove and Explore Elk Grove, iHeartMedia and stuff. And that being the first year at the Old Town Plaza, oh man, it was an amazing show. Yeah, and most of the lineup of what I just said about those bands, a lot of them were there.
The problem is, next year, you got to top it.
Oh, I got plans.
Okay.
I got
But then,
plans.
year 3, you got to top it.
Yeah, every year.
Then year 4, rest on your laurels a little bit.
Yeah. It's a small place, so we're going to be capped on occupancy. But what we're going to do is we're just going to raise the price by a lot and bring in even bigger headliners.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the idea. Utilizing our plaza here in town.
Yeah.
I can outgrow it and go to Elk Grove Park, but that's not what
the
I
goal.
did.
That's not why you're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want the plaza.
Yeah. And the last part is, like, over the years, you can just be like, okay, we're going to go a little bigger. So it's like $20,
Absolutely.
$25, $30.
Correct.
And just
Yep.
slowly grow it to be like, it's not shock to the system to be like, oh, it went from $20 to $300. You know,
Which one? I don't know what the occupancy is over at the Cesar Chavez Park, but that's a perfect place for another CervezaLandia here in Oak Grove.
It would be. I've driven by and I'm like, yeah. Cesar Chavez Plaza caps at like 4,000, but it's like really.
That's so huge for like how tiny that block is.
Yeah. I'm not a comfortable.
It's not a comfortable 4,000.
And you probably wouldn't. And probably not for CervezaLandia because we're taking up a lot of space with food and the beer tents and all that. So.
And that's 4,000 just standing, right?
Yeah, just standing.
All the vendors out there.
Yeah, so probably push down to like 2,500, maybe 2,000.
That'd be a safe number.
But like that's still a lot of people.
What are you expecting?
So I can't go higher than 1,200 at one time.
Okay.
So 1,200 people is a maximum. So with the police and the security.
So those you bring in your entire family, just know.
So we'll have as
Be
soon
polite.
as we get at 1,000, we gotta really figure out who's coming out, who's going in. I'll be shocked.
A little bit more walking the block. Be like, you done?
See, with what he's doing, he can totally outgrow that place. Discovery Park, Elk Grove Park. We got plenty of huge
plenty of
parks.
places to go. But I do like this as the first spot for sure.
It's a perfect location.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the name of the park.
Yeah.
What about it?
The name of the park. It fits.
The Chavez Plaza.
Fits with it.
We even have we've inspired Ernesto Delgado to brew his own beer for La Cosecha for his restaurant, and his beer will be part of the celebration too. It will be on tap. And so it's a beer celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we talk about like CervezaLandia, the tap room, I'm like, what if we have a little small brewery? But also that's like another license.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's tough. I think what I've learned from meeting with brewers and traveling, I think I feel more passionate about bringing everyone's work together and celebrating that as far as being in one place making beer limited. I think the growth for CervezaLandia is on the scaling up individual tap rooms with bottle shops in them. I think that's where the money and the revenue and the real biggest impact we can have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, believe it or not, the brewery it was never my plan.
Yeah?
My first venture, we were opening up a tap room.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was going to be called 31 Tap. Already had a location. Dealt with a lot of red tape with the city. This brewery was closing down.
Yep.
So I kind of segued the whole plan.
Really?
Not knowing anything about brewing beer. But again,
you're like, I'll find a brewer.
And that's what it was. That's find somebody that knows what they're doing, let them stay in their own lane. I'll stay in my lane.
Business.
Tap room, I don't need a brewer. You know what I mean? My community will help me pick the beer, grow it together. So that's why I think CervezaLandia as a tap room, oh my gosh, that would be such an amazing
We're looking for
thing.
a location, so everyone knows a location out there.
If you know a location, where can they find you, Daniel?
On Instagram. Message us on Instagram. The location can't be anywhere though. There's a set of hierarchy of what needs to happen. There needs to be a patio. It got to be in a neighborhood that we can reach folks and be part of a revitalization and just be part of something special. Kind of like how we talked about King Kong, what King Kong did for Del Paso.
That was off recording, but yes, we did talk about how that revitalized that little
I want CervezaLandia to be
maybe South Sacramento.
Yeah, South Sacramento. I'd love Franklin Boulevard, Northgate. I think downtown Sacramento is great. Also, it gets more expensive
But do South Sac, so I don't have to drive so far.
Yeah, South Sacramento, South Sac, Franklin, Fruit Ridge, those are Stockton Boulevard. But space is important to me as far as like getting the feel of. Again, back to my travels throughout Mexico and being an urban planner, being in a comfortable space is like probably the number one priority for me. Aside from having good beer, like once you got that beer and you're sitting down,
it's atmosphere.
It's got to be. You got to feel like you don't want to get up.
Yeah.
Like this is where I want to be.
You gotta get food.
So.
Yeah. I can only imagine, based off of your logo and the artwork that you already have, what the inside would look like.
Yeah.
Artwork everywhere.
Art.
Colors.
I mean, I was in a Frida Kahlo's
It's a celebration
house.
of culture.
Yeah. I have Frida Kahlo's house in Mexico City.
Nice.
I have this vision of her courtyard and the plants that she had, and being in Guanajuato, the beautiful colors. All those colors are inspired by Guanajuato and the pinks and the turquoises and the yellows. And it also speaks to the influence that women have in beer and how I want it to be an inviting space for women and families to be, not just a bunch of dudes come and have beer. I want,
Yeah.
And the women will be there, and if the women are there, the men will show up.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
No dude's getting off the couch unless they have to. Yeah.
Because you also carry wines, right?
Wines, yeah. We have
Chicano
wines, Chicano wines. We have, we've met a couple of really great winemakers. Chris at CervezaLandia is fantastic. He's brought in some great wines out of Lodi for us and really opened up kind of our minds to. We have some other really great products out of Oxford, California. The ponche, the Gran Ponche Mexicana, that does really well in the wintertime. So.
What is that, a sangria?
It's a ponche. So like the traditional pomegranate liqueur juice that I've grown up as a kid drinking only during the Christmas holidays. It's usually made at home. You can sell it in the jug. There's usually a woman in the neighborhood who sells it, like a moonshiner.
Okay.
But this is a bottled product, Gran Ponche Mexicano, and it's out of I believe Oxford, California.
Okay.
So, really good product. So we're always finding things.
Oxnard.
I was like, yeah.
Oxnard. By Ventura and all that.
Yeah. All right, I think we have to go. Before we go, anything else we need to talk about as far as Coatza? Anything we need to talk about as far as CervezaLandia, the venue?
What
versus
Coatza means?
Sure, if you want to.
So it's short for Coatzacoalcos,
Okay.
Veracruz, Mexico, where my parents and grandparents were all born.
Nice.
So that's the exact border of the Aztec, where it splits in the Mayans. That's what kind of the area that separates the end and the beginning of the Mayan
Oh, wow.
culture down south.
That's a lot of history tied
It is.
into like one little word.
Which means City of the Snakes, or where the snakes dwell.
Well,
Hence
you're in Elk
the
Grove.
snake head in my logo.
Perfect timing.
That's
My
awesome.
kids woke up.
Yep. We gotta go. All right. Before we get out of here, though, well, just a reminder, it's Sunday, June 9th, 2 to 6 p.m., Cedar Travis Park, CervezaLandia. Tickets on Eventbrite or at the venue, provided space is available, which, by the way, might be tough. So buy it online, $20 tickets.
Don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it.
The neat thing about utilizing an Eventbrite for it is that we'll be able to communicate with everyone who's purchased a ticket through their email platform. And so the weather that day, instructions how to get in, reminder of what things cost, and it's I really like that. I want to be able to
Updated
tell,
menus early on, like,
I'm gonna
hey,
send them
they're
an
shutting
email
up,
the
we know
night
this is what's going to
before.
happen. Yeah.
Here's what the weather's going to be like. Bring a blanket. Hey, bring a chair. Remember, no ice chest, right? Things like that. So that's a really good tool. That's what we're looking forward to. The more who participate through Eventbrite, they'll get that information.
Yeah. And then where can they find out more besides that about CervezaLandia, the event, and just the spot?
CervezaLandia.co. Yeah, our website, by the time this is over, is up and live. It's in our it's a soft launch this week, working out some bugs, but it should be live by the time this is out.
And then on Instagram, Facebook?
On Instagram, at CervezaLandia, and at CervezaLandia on Facebook.
Perfect.
Do you have
TikTok as well.
Do you have the link in your bio?
Links in our bio on Instagram.
boy.
You can now. I like the fact that you can just Google CervezaLandia and we're the top hit now. So
Yeah.
that's
That's,
going to help.
that's the best. And Enrique, what about for Coatza? Where can people find you? What's going on?
CoatzaBrewingCo.com, our website, and I haven't updated this next month's music lineup yet, but it will be. But Instagram, every week we post exactly what's happening every weekend.
Yeah.
So it's at Coatza Brewing.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. And so many things happen. So pretty great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, Elk Grove needs some music venues. There's not a whole lot of competition.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great. And you get good beer.
I would think so.
Yeah. All right. And then for Barley Me, you can find that across social media at Barley Me Pod. Comedy shows, they happen. Podcasts, they happen. Don't forget to check out the other podcast that I engineer. It's called It's Crazier in My Business. It's an advice podcast with comedians Tavi and Becky Lynn. This episode will drop at the same time their new episode will drop, just because they recorded yesterday. All right. You don't need to know it. That's a lot of inside baseball that nobody cares about. I've been your host, Ben Rice. Enrique Silva, Coatza Brewing, thank you so much.
Good to meet you.
Daniel Savala, CervezaLandia, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
And thanks so much for listening. Get home safe.